So you'd like to retire as a millionaire. Well, who wouldn't? But a great way to do that is to set up an RRSP, which stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan. And it's basically a fund that you set up and you keep making payments into it every month until you retire, and then you collect all the money plus the interest that you've earned. So this clip might be a little bit different than some other investing clips we've done in the past in this section because we actually are making some payments, and we'll see how to use the TVM solver to do that. Let's have a look at our example problem on the left. Suppose you invest $200 per month from age 15 until you retire at age 65 into a RRSP. Assume the plan averages a 7% annual rate of return compounded monthly. How much money will you have when you retire? Well, hopefully a lot, but let's find out. There's a lot of information in this question, so I would suggest that to keep ourselves organized, we start off by listing our givens, and that's step one. I'll use the TVM solver on my graphing calculator to help me figure out what givens I need. I'll bring in the calculator now, and I'll go to the TVM solver by hitting the Apps button once, then enter on Finance, enter on TVM solver, and there I go. There are my givens. When you're working with questions that involve an RRSP, the one major difference is that you have payments. You're putting money into the account every month. So this N value now becomes the number of payments total in the question. Well, let's set that up. N, the total number of payments. We're putting in $200 per month. For how long? Well, between the ages of 65 and 15. 65 minus 15 is 50 years. So once per month for 50 years. Or in other words, 12 payments per year, and we have 50 years of payments. All right, and that's equal to 600. So remember, for questions that involve an RRSP or monthly payments, you take the number of payments per year and multiply it by the number of years that we're talking about in the question, and I got 600. I is just my interest rate given in the question, and it's 7%. So I'll just say my I is 7%. PV is my present value. Usually we start out with something that we're investing, so we usually have a value for PV, but in this case, our present value is just 0 because in an RRSP, we don't really make any initial contribution. We just let it grow by adding a payment every month. That brings us to PMT. That's the monthly payment. And in this question, it's given as 200. FV is future value, and that's what we're solving for in this question because the question asks how much money will we have when we retire at the end in the future. So we're going to leave that as 0 and we'll come back and solve it. P/Y is payments per year. Well, if you notice in the question, we're paying into the account monthly, so there's 12 payments per year. The next one is compounding periods per year. And if we look carefully, the question says the account is compounded monthly. So monthly means, yeah, there's 12 payments per year. And there we go. There's all the information we need to do this problem. Now that we've kept ourselves organized by listing all the givens, we can just go ahead and enter these values into the TVM solver and get our answer. So I'm going to start by listing 600 was our N. That's the number of payments total. I, the interest rate was 7. Present value, 0. Payments, we put in $200 per month. That's the payment. Future value we're solving for, so we'll leave that as 0. Payments per year, well, we're paying into the account every month, so that's 12 payments per year. And the compounding periods per year is also 12. Now to solve this, I'm just going to scroll up to FV, future value. I'll hit alpha one time so I get that little flashing A. Then I'll hit enter. And whoa, look at all that money. You're going to retire a rich dude. That's actually over $1 million. We have 1 million $1,089,614 and, all right, 18 cents. Don't forget about the 18 cents. Let's add a concluding statement. My concluding statement just says, I would retire happily with $1,089,614.18. All right, grab your paper and your TVM solver because now it's your turn to do some RRSP calculations. Here's your practice problem. Suppose you invest $100 per month from age 20 until you retire at age 65 into a RRSP. Assume the plan averages a 10% annual rate of return and it's compounded monthly. How much money will you have when you retire? All right, so give that one a try using the steps that I showed you on the left, and I'll post the solution when you're ready. Even with this plan, you're going to retire a millionaire. $1,048,250.17. And if you didn't quite get that, have a look at the givens listed here and make sure you had everything right, especially the N, the number of payments. Also make sure that you entered everything into the TVM solver correctly to get $1,048,250.17.